Hello, and welcome to Year of the Vampire. This week we watched Bloodrayne.
I'm not sure why you picked this movie.
I wanted to get it over with.
I mean, we didn't even have to put it on the list. I think we mostly put it on there as filler, and we're like, you know what, we're going to swap this with something else when we figure it out, but we just kind of didn't do that.
I mean, I'm aware of the fact that there's like thousands of vampire movies out there worldwide, and half of those are probably sequels, but, we watched this one.
Story. I didn't know that this movie was set in the 1800s. Like, the games aren't set then.
Yeah, that's a weird choice.
I'm pretty sure they're set in the modern day. So, yeah, it was kind of bizarre that this was set, and I believe it said the 1800s, and it was just kind of your typical, oh man, this chick is a half vampire, and her dad is, like, the head vampire, so she has to collect these magic items and become a super vampire and kill him or some shit.
Yeah, mostly just a heart and an eye, and I guess the main baddie already had a rib.
Yeah.
There wasn't as many body parts as you would expect, either.
No. Was it Dracula? Was the vampire they took apart Dracula? Because I'm pretty sure those are things you have to collect in one of the Castlevania games to reform Dracula so you can kill him permanently.
I don't think that was his name. I couldn't remember what his name was.
Did they even say the name?
It's surprising it wasn't Vlad. That was one of the good guys.
I got so distracted at so many parts of the movie.
Let's get into it. And we can get to explaining that part.
Well, we kind of did get into that.
I mean, that was most of it, yeah. Like,
oh yeah, she joined some vampire hunters too, who trust her weirdly quickly.
Yeah, despite the fact
and yet she still has to sleep in a jail cell in the basement.
Initially, that doesn't last very long.
No, she's still down there. Like later on when they trust her.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true, but it's like so much happened, and yet still.
A lot happened and nothing happened.
Yeah, it's like the best way to explain it.
What'd you think of the acting? I thought it was pretty fucking bad.
It was weird. Kind of reminds me of...
It was a lot of hammy acting and really bad fake accents.
Yeah, like sometimes it was stiff, other times it felt like overdramatic to an extent.
I'm pretty sure we were supposed to be taking it seriously.
I couldn't. Honestly, it felt like something we'd watch on the Sci-Fi Channel.
I'm pretty sure these movies have been on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, but was at least the first one. Did this somehow get in the theaters?
I have no idea. We're recording this on my phone and your phone is dead, so I can't Google it.
Anyways, there was a surprising amount of big actors in this.
I mean...
Then there was also Meatloaf.
I was going to say, come on, Meatloaf isn't exactly a big actor.
He was a relatively famous musician from the 80s.
Oh, speaking of actors, this probably was an appropriate movie to watch since Michael Madsen, one of the actors, actually passed away a couple days before we're recording this.
Oh.
I mean, I do kind of wish it would have been a better vampire movie that he was in, but I don't think he was in any other vampire movies, so... We should have just watched Reservoir Dogs and pretended it was a vampire movie. It's a much better movie anyway.
That is a really good movie. Not to get off topic.
Sound. And music.
I don't know. Nothing really memorable, to be honest.
It looked like they put a lot of voice lines in post. Because there was a lot of people... There was shots of people talking, but it was behind them. Probably so you couldn't see that they weren't actually talking.
I didn't know.
Oh, and what was with the bad guy, Kagan? What was with his soldiers making those fucking noises as they were marching out of his throne room? Why were they doing that shit?
I don't know. They started yelling before they just kind of marched out,
and they kept yelling and just kind of making noise. It was weird. It sounded like there was chanting going on near the end, but we never saw anyone chanting.
Oh, They were calling it a ritual, even though they're basically just going to strap her to a table and cut her eye out. But, yeah.
I mean, that could be a ritual if you want it to be.
But the chanting, it sounded more like something you'd hear at a church, not at something vampires would do before cutting someone's eye out. I'm just saying.
And why did they stop when they brought her up?
I don't know.
It was weird. And, like usual, obviously the vampires just kind of made, growling and hissing noises. You got to expect that, but... I think because of the acting, it was it was significantly worse in this one, or it didn't seem as appropriate.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get to the next part. How about cinematography?
I mean, it's an action movie from the early 2000s, so obviously every action scene has to be on a frame for about,
Half a second.
Not even that, like a fraction of a second before switching to a different one. They had
way too many fast cuts.
Yeah, they did some slow motion shots, and at the end when she's fighting Kagan, they even did one of the rare slow motion sped up shots where it looks like they're doing both, and instead of actually looking cool, it just seems like the movie is moving at 30 frames per second.
And can I say something?
What?
Because I found it a bit odd. Despite being 2005, which I know is still a while ago, it seemed almost cheap. Like, on the still parts, when there wasn't a lot going on, nothing really seemed all that convincing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, really. It's just...
They cut away from a lot of... They cut away from a lot of, like, the action scenes when some of the characters are actually killing other characters.
Yeah, it's like just off screen.
I think it's so they didn't actually have to pay to have even more of the special effects done.
Yeah, let's be real. I'm pretty sure the biggest reason why it was rated R, because there wasn't even a lot of swearing either, was probably the weird amount of nudity on a few parts.
I mean, it's a vampire movie. Was it really weird? I mean, it was weird when half of it was like women with meatloaf. That was fucking weird, but...
that was an uncomfortable scene. Just gonna say it.
It's not even because they're vampires. It's just because it was meatloaf.
Thanks, Meatloaf. Rest his soul. He made really good rock opera music.
Rockra. Anyway, last part. Special effects. I thought they were mid.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of
weird CG.
There was a lot of blood, but
it was discolored, like almost light.
Yeah, I don't know. The blood looked a little too liquidy, and yeah, I think I pointed out at least in a few shots, maybe the light was just hitting it weirdly. But
it's almost like tomato red.
Yeah, it looked too red. It wasn't that like dark, deep red. It was like almost bright red in some scenes. But again, we could have just been seeing things. It could have just been the light. Maybe it did look more like blood. It's like it looked a lot like blood in most of the scenes.
I mean, at least it wasn't like in the 70s where they were just getting color and everything looked like paint. But
I mean, everything was paint.
It wasn't...
It was lead-based paint specifically.
It still wasn't great looking, I guess. And there wasn't... Aside from the weird dungeon scene, again, with Meatloaf, there wasn't a lot of blood either.
It wasn't a dungeon scene. There was a window.
Okay, but they were feeding...
It was a high-up window.
They were feeding on a lot of people in that
scene.
Yeah.
That could have been interesting if the special effects had been done better. And, the people that were acting in it weren't fucking terrible.
Help me.
And they actually just did. I thought they were just going to kill him.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't hesitate. Michelle Rodriguez didn't hesitate to kill her friend who she bit the night before. So why would they hesitate to kill anyone else who was bitten by vampires? But they just helped him down, left him on the floor, and went about slaughtering vampires. Then Meatloaf.
Yeah, he probably got the only son death in the entire movie.
Oh. Yeah, he got probably the most dramatic death where he's just like calling out and like fucking incinerates.
No.
Yeah, he did some weird voice stuff in this movie.
I mean, he was a great singer. He basically sang himself to death while being on fire.
What about we mentioned the blood, we mentioned the CG. His fire death wasn't actually terrible looking.
Okay, no.
What about the one where the part where they forgot the special effect, where she's supposed to be like where she growls at that kid jokingly, but she doesn't actually have her fangs?
Oh,
like was she supposed to have like they did the vampire hissing sound? Was she supposed to have her fangs? Because I think that was just her regular ass human teeth.
Yeah, it was just her normal teeth. It almost reminded me of the one scene where she stabbed someone towards the end and you couldn't see the sword on the other side of her.
I mean, you could kind of see it, but it looked like there was a couple inches off the length of the sword, which it didn't help that the other one was like right next to it. I don't know. Maybe we're just seeing things, but it didn't look like the sword was long enough. I had to rewind the part because I thought it actually didn't come out.
Either way, this is going a little long, but yeah. I don't think this is... We can probably skip this movie.
Yeah, definitely skip it.